Good afternoon. Oh, it's good morning, man. It's good morning in this country in the UK. Like, sometimes you don't know which one is morning and which one is afternoon. Good morning, my brother and sisters. I think a while back, I was watching this documentary by Zainab Badawi. Like, is it Channel 4 or BBC discussion? She just arranged about this British life. She lives, like, funny enough, she lives somewhere in Hampshire. Like, that's where I was working. The Royal British. That area is very posh, very rich people. So in her clip about Kush dynasty kingdom civilization in Africa, she went all parts of Africa, Eritrea, Ethiopia, like Wahhabi, Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, she touched everywhere. And one of the interviewees was very white, black man, African man. They involved with about all this UNESCO education security. And they said, how do we know about African history? How do we analyze and try to understand what's all about Africanness, our history, our life, our identity? How do we identify? We have a very kind of well-established science, science, reasoning. Just dig all the archaeology, like anthropology, and you come up with the kind of you summarize it, you make reductions, deductions, hey, this is what it means, you try to do all these carbon dating analysis of all these microbiology, like everything, okay? And big bug, okay? You gave me my book, you gave me my book, it's big bug. This bug, I'm not talking about this bug, okay? It's bug, English language, okay? This big bug, there is a lot of things that we cannot um, intelligently understand all this intangible, hidden identity, our self-expression, music, art, dance, my friend, all the flow, my friend, like this African, flow, our music, our art, our dance, our Europeans, they cannot understand it because they cannot reconnect, they cannot connect with them, my friend, any anthropologist, like, with a long view, any kind of like brainy looking, like the supercomputer, information analyzer, supercomputer, states as an anthropology study in Adria, art of school of social science, and you do have like, oh, they analyze all the samples of like species, like the urine, hair, all this DNA, they are, so what is it, somatic, like all this analyzation of this chromosome, all that kind of stuff, they do a lot of DNA analysis, sequencing, you go so much microprocessor and supercomputers, so you go so much big data today for the big data, okay? Billions of information chunk. Oh yeah, these people hey, according to their features, my friend, to their urine sampling, to their saliva, to their hair, and their phonetic, that language, all that kind of stuff. They come up with all this. This is fancy, so they got this big builder, all these philosophers, Pluto, Aristotle, all these nations, kind of like confuses the mind. These are people, they get well paid at universities, very shabby, long bearded, neglecting themselves, you go all this stench, smell, all that kind of stuff. So they live for 50 years in Eritrea, let's say, or maybe in Africa, in such a house, they analyze all these people as if we are as if we are goats or like a sheep or like a subhuman creature. So they write so much fancy paper on this international scientific journals, all this PubMed and things like that. So you go there, from the Athens, from university, post and you just get amazing how anthropology studies discovery, my goodness. This in Guinea Pig and in Guinea Bissau, in Eritrea, in Ethiopia, this Lucy, this they come out all fancy, this big apple. Every newspaper, NBC, BBC, Channel 4, get it, big. Scientists in Oxford University, Cambridge University came up with this, all these chimpanzees, we as human beings, Africa before we came to Europe. This is how we were, it's very fancy, I'm trying to be very bearded, kind of neglected, not true, long bearded scholars. scientist. Like, I'm not that big fan of that. Like, it just kills me with boredom. Boredom. Like, so anyway, my issues today, like, there's a lot of these ideas listed on our heritage. Youth and the older generation, like, hey, this Puritan attitude, for like this kind of Nazi fashion idea, like, as if we are like isolated in a silo, little in that little corner in our mountains, in our plains in Eritrea, as if we are that isolated, like, somewhere that we can somewhere, like, let's just say from Sky Haven, like this manner, like this right Jewish history narrative, like, let's just like we fly as manner and we ended in Eritrea. Let's just for argument's sake. So we are isolated from the rest of Africa, from the Arab land, from Egypt, from Sudan, from from Tigray, from Hara. Do you get my point? This is a proper Nazi fascist idea, wrong perception, instilled in our mind. Such a puritan, hey my friend, don't mess out Puritan, my friend. Don't mess it at all, my friend. Such like, this is sarcasm, what the word is, such like, pure say, my friend. This is a proper Nazi, like, proper fascism, like, as if we are like, some human beings that we don't borrow words, long words from Africa, from Arab, from, you know, from Harris, Tigray, like, everywhere. We know that, my friend. We are part and parcel of the whole world. Okay? So this brings me to this Amharic language, this system. Me personally, I differ, sir. I differ respectfully, with dignity. Like I say, it's my language. You see this Amharic or girls, the priests, the clergy, they do all their piercing, all this like on liturgy, cunning, like my friend, they cut each other with swords, two-edged sharp swords with words, okay? They call it cunning. You must say, what was word? What was like? No, this is a proper. They're fighting like verbal, verbal war. We haven't got that intelligence. We haven't grasped that because we don't understand it. Because these petty politicians, they just look at us as if that is somehow is just for some kind of like alien creature somewhere, and this is how much they need us such illiterate to live in a dark age. Okay? So this is just come up and this the one I put yesterday. To understand what all the music they're saying so funny, so subtle, so complicated, it's one word you can interpret it in five, sometimes like eight, seven words. Really, it's not funny, depending on the place. Okay? It's called Kenny, is what they call it. Terminal word. Okay? So angkasa is like anekdote, anekdote. Sekai mas tentang daga lupa di tempat di tahun kena tahun mana tu. Komong jero men kisahan tidak bilang semua hati awal tu patron habisha. Kahada no chamu. Wo jero baca habun na. Wo jero men kisah. Muka pal kada di kono. Angkas men kas mana tu amang kas kan men kas mana tu kai tas wo kan lah kan para morai kong kala. So any this is what they call it seminar work any. Amharinya Amharic any. So even thinking again Kenny, it's like this for Kenny. It's a deep meaning of it. Very complicated. Very complicated. Depending how shallow you are or how deep understanding you are, the interpretation of that poetic song you interpret in a different way. Okay? And those people they mean so much open ended so that they see you they leave it an open interpretation so that different people, depending how old you are, how experienced you are, how literate you are, for you to make your own judgment, your own decision, your own meaning. Okay? So that's what it means. So me personally, I say that's Amharic, my friend. It's part of our language. There's no way for us to escape from that. Okay? Even if it's not ours, even if I'm not, yeah, I think I will apply. I'll apply to for them to recognize me as if I'm part of that. Come on, I'm gonna apply for it. I'm gonna pay some money. Seriously, this is seriously, Mako. It's part and parcel of our language, and there's a lot of laziness in our community. People don't tend to learn and open their mind and their heart to learn new things, Mako. Because you listen to because you people are community, it doesn't mean like you stay in your village or you see or you country, Mako. In fact, you are making country more secure Okay, because you are opening a door for all these Amhara people to come swimming country map and you already see like no, they're gonna come and see this market. They're gonna make all these video clips in Masawa swimming with their beautiful women. And the women map, they're gonna if they like it, if you're more Saturday, more complicated, like you know, way kind of like a more super cool as Marine guy, they're gonna stay in Asmara in Masawa, they're not gonna go back to Addis Ababa. Okay? So there's a lot of wealth, there's a lot of richness, there's a lot of potential in that. So we have to work for hard, okay, to understand it, especially those people who are from Tigray speaking, Tigray Muslims, like, you guys have to open your mind and your heart, especially those who have that knowledge of Arabic, okay, from the Quran or from like kindness and everything. Amharic is really super cool language, okay? It's Tigray, okay? Tigrinya is Malay, huh? Ta'aruf. So it's part and parcel of our language, our heritage. Of course, we had a lot of words, all these places, all these Western, like, they create a lot of, you know, landmines in our brain. So much hatred, so much deep suspicion, so much deep resentment, grudge. So it is making us like a prisoner inside. He's inside inflicted prisoners that they put this wrong, such wrong idea. I mean, it's like an alien language. So like of course all this sample music, sample Amharic, dancing master. At the same time, I'm trying to relate it for you to use it in this scientific research kind of thing, like all these scientific long views and anthropology, like all this evolution idea, like this what's the next Charles Darwin, all that kind of stuff, just to take us away from that baboonhood, from this monkey baboon, from like that portrayal, like so it's really amazing. It's our language, okay? I'm funny enough, okay? Girl, it's all yeah, kabila na kayo something ako. They don't have to take that ball from our Eritrean, okay? They don't have to snatch our race, our village, everything like that. We are still independent, but we are extremely very complicated, very sophisticated community understanding Amharic to the core. Okay? So this is what we do from our side. We are the same, but our interpretation of our what we should be, our future direction, our perception, our identity, our the way we see ourselves, like it should be the other direction. Like, we have to work so hard. We have to be very industrious. We have to be like, day and night giving information, like understanding, relating things in our context, enriching us as people to make our perceiving power of our ideas in our neighbors. Okay, in Amharic, Ethiopia, Amhara, Oromo, Tigray, okay, the whole area. Okay, guys, we have to export our natural wealth, okay, which is our heritage, a mountain, okay. But we have, in order to do that, my friend, the Europeans, they don't give a fuck about you, my friend. They don't interest in you. Even the Arabs, they go there always, okay. So the 130 million Ethiopians are like the biggest potential that we have to sell our stories, our cinema, okay? This 130 kilometers, 1,300 kilometers, which is going to create a lot of potential, create a lot of islands, artificial islands. And these people, my friend, if we are going to market our natural wealth and our identity, we have to work for how much. So this Amharic, this is Krista, all this that I'm posting is part of that. My hard work all these years, I haven't gone so much, but my friend, it's a bearing fruit, and I'm on the right direction. And you have a lovely day, guys. Okay, enjoy my music. Okay, bye.